How's it going, guys? It's the Pixelated Pumpkin, and in today's video, I will be discussing leaks we have for the Spirit Halloween 2022 season, including props, some of the themes, really not that great look at the themes, mainly props, and also some info that I don't have any photos of, but I have been allowed to confirm for you guys. Before we get into it, though, I just want to mention that I am 100% within my legal limit of making this video. All these photos are from second or third hand sources where I've been sent them through various anonymous people on Instagram as they wish to remain anonymous. I will not be telling you who I've got them from, but they've just been spreading around the community, basically. A lot of people have already seen them. I'm sure you guys have seen them, and people have just been posting about them since at this point, no one is waiting any longer for sneak peeks to start. The current theory, which I didn't believe, but at this point, I really have no choice to, is that Spirit Halloween is going to drop their entire lineup on July 14th, one day before Home Depot does, which I think is just a really dumb thing to do since Home Depot's lineup has already been leaked. Literally, the entire thing was leaked last month, if not, I think over 2 months ago at this point now. So Spirit just waiting to release their entire lineup one day before Home Depot to overshadow them, I guess, is honestly such a dumb idea, and it really just shows how much this company at this point really their marketing team at least, how far they have their heads up their asses by trying to do this, by trying to steal some of Home Depot's sales by dropping it all a day before, which really I don't think they're going to be successful at all in doing that. If anything, I think this is just going to make things worse for them since people are going to wait to see Home Depot's lineup still before making any purchases at Spirit. So no one is happy with this, especially me. I was really hoping for a nice final return to normal sneak peeks this year, but they go ahead and do something like this, which I just think is extremely scummy, and that this year's lineup anyways for Spirit is really not going to be good at all from multiple sources. They are just saying that some of these props are just not good. But anyways, I'm going to be discussing every leak photo we have so far, so without any more hesitation, I kept you all waiting long enough, let's jump right into it. Starting off with our first prop that we probably have the best look at so far is Marty the Monkey. Now, from the box there, I've made out multiple different names, but Marty seems to be the closest. Other people were saying Monty, doesn't look too much like that to me, or perhaps Morty, but really, I think it doesn't matter the name. It's definitely one of those. But here we have our really first 2022 prop from Spirit. Now, I have to say right off the bat, I'm not the biggest fan of this thing. So very clearly, this is based off those old Symbol Monkey toys. I'm throwing up a photo right now. And here's the thing. I'm just going to come out and be completely honest about this. I think the toy is more scary than the prop. Now, of course, we don't have the best look at the prop so far, but just from the starting photos we have right now, I really can't say it looks all that great. Now, here is the big photo of it, which you've already been looking at. Anyways, I just don't understand really what's going on with this prop. So to start off, why is he standing on a box? The box seems to be such a useless inclusion here unless something pops out of it, which from the looks of the mini theme here, which I'll get into in a second, doesn't really seem to be the case, especially with the rope there. So I'm going to just go ahead and say this box is just something to elevate the prop a little bit, which I really don't understand what the point of that was. The monkey itself, I think, looks okay. It looks pretty damn accurate to those old Symbol monkeys. But again, the face just doesn't really look all that creepy, and you can literally see the sensor right on top of his forehead. I'm not sure why they put that directly on top of his forehead just to cover. Just maybe you could put in the fur at least. I'm not really sure. It does not look all that great, though. And then the biggest concern is the way he's standing on the box. That looks so weird, especially with his back leg being bent out. I really don't understand why he's standing on the box like that. Perhaps he was set up wrong, but these are the manual photos, remember, so I really don't see that being the case here. So it's just very strange overall, and if I'm being honest, this guy kind of almost, not quite, but almost looks to be a Sunstar prop. Now, there's no way that's the case here. I'm assuming it's either Crazy Create or possibly Techie, but I don't really see Techie making something like this. I'm just not sure of the company, but it does not look like an SVI prop to me. Overall, this thing had the opportunity to be really cool, but I don't know. I don't like how it's standing on the box either. If it was just a full life-size standing character, I think that would have been fine. Especially would have been better than standing on the box. Again, I am just really mad that this thing is standing on a box for no reason. And it's not a part of the theme, as you could see on his box art here. He is indeed standing on that box in the photo there too. So that is a full addition to the prop there, which I'm assuming you can't really have him standing without it. So that's the thing. And also, another huge concern here is how short this guy is. So, first of all, you could see the costume bags next to him, which are probably a little bit more than a foot in length. So, he's about the size of 4 of them, at least for his body. Actually, a little bit less than that. The full prop, including the box, is probably a little bit taller than 5 feet, I would say. But the monkey itself is probably only around 3 feet tall, which is really, really concerning. So, I am really not sure what happened here. I feel like the execution of this prop could have been so much better. And I do like the concept, though. I do think making a life-size Halloween animatronic symbol monkey is something that could have been done for a long time now. And I guess Spirit just finally got around to doing something like that, which does seem like a very Spirit Halloween prop to me. It does seem like this is something Spirit would make. And, of course, they did end up doing it. But I'm just really concerned with how short this guy is. And now for probably the biggest thing about this guy. He's $300. That has been confirmed. You could just get a good look at his price tag here. Ignore all those crappy watermarks. I'm not sure who put those on. This was just a photo circulated around to me. But anyways, $300 is absolutely ridiculous. Now, that's granted, we haven't seen the animation yet, but just considering all the factors for how he looks right now, how short he is, and just basically everything, $300 is a huge price for this guy. And you have to remember, other props for $300 are typically gigantic and do a ton, but I really can't see this guy doing more than just clapping the symbols together and maybe having some sort of head animation. That's it, though. So, again, this is just a very, very concerning prop, but I really do want to give this guy a chance to see what he does before I really give my full opinions on him. But as of right now, I'm really not too impressed with this guy. Anyways, I talked about this guy for a pretty damn long time, so let's move to our next prop. Our next prop is probably my favorite out of all of the props we have thus far, but really I'm still not all that impressed with this guy, but this is Lord Raven. Now, this seems to be a really cool concept in my opinion, but for many reasons, I just don't like this thing all too much, unfortunately. So, starting off, all really you have right now is just this box art here, and you get a very good look at the prop, fortunately, so we'll use this. So starting off, this seems to be a 7 or possibly 8 foot tall animatronic. You could get a little glimpse at what his possible height could be here. I really can't make out those numbers, though. They are really blurry. It kind of looks like an 8 to me just because of how pixely it is and the way it looks. It doesn't look all too much like a 7, so this could be a 8 or 9 foot prop. And it does look very tall from the box art, too. So I'm not sure what the animation is going to be on this guy, but just from the looks of him, I think the huge crow skull he has as his face looks very cool, and the arm pose he has too is also pretty unique and very menacing. But as for the rest of him, it is just so bland, and that's the problem here. This prop in particular is just a very bland prop. All he has is that big black cloak, and there is nothing else here. Except for that, of course, the skull head, but as for the rest of what's going on with this prop, there's nothing. It's literally just the skull, and that's pretty much it. It's super bland, and that's unfortunate. I really wish there was more going on here, and I'm not sure what the animation is going to be, though. I have a feeling this thing might have pretty good animation, which could end up saving the prop in the long run, but as for right now, I'm just not too impressed with this guy. I still think it is a really neat concept, though, and it's finally nice to see some sort of Plague Doctor-ish props. I know we did have the static Plague Doctor, and this thing kind of feels like it, but it also feels like some sort of demonic raven creature, as it is called, the Lord Raven. And I called it a crow skull. No, that's a raven skull. I'm so stupid. So, sorry for that. Anyways, just there's not much else to say about this guy other than it just feels very bland, and I don't know. I'm sure this guy will have pretty cool animation, though, and the box does look pretty big, but if you notice, it does not have handles on it, so this might not be the biggest prop as it kind of looks from the box. It really looks like it could be the size of a Crouchy, if not taller, but I don't know. Considering the box doesn't have handles, it might be smaller than I'm thinking, so I don't know. That's just another thing to think about. Anyways, that's probably it for this guy here, so I talked about him a lot less than the monkey, but there's just a lot less to talk about here, which, again, is unfortunate. At least with the monkey, there was a lot going on there. Here, it's the opposite. It is just completely bland. So, that's something to take away, at least. The monkey, he had way too much going on with his prop. This guy, nowhere near enough. Our third and technically final prop, but not quite, I'll explain later what the next item we have to look at, is a new clown animatronic called Lucky Bottoms. Now, this guy is very strange, and I really think we need to see what this guy does before I really give my opinion on him, but I do have confirmation that this guy is around $150 to $160, which is an absolutely ridiculous price tag for this guy, considering he is only 2 feet tall and only has thrashing motion. So this is just very, very, very strange to see how highly priced this guy is. So starting off, 2 feet tall animatronics should be not even in the $100 price range. They should only be from $50 to maybe $60, if that. And considering this guy is the size of a tabletop, pretty much, charging $150 for him is just insane. This gets me thinking back to the rat from a few years ago, or Sewer Varmint, that was his name. Like, that was very small, yes, but he kind of had interesting animation, and he did have the fog attachment, but I still think he was way overpriced for what you got there, and this guy is no exception to that. So, anyways, besides the price for this guy, he just seems to be a very strange clown prop. At first, a lot of people were thinking this could be a Mr. Dark reskin, but as you can see from the size of the box, that is not the case here. And it kind of looks like it from his photo, but this guy, as you could read, does not have jumping animation, which is just kind of disappointing, I guess. I think if this guy was a Mr. Dark reskin, that would have been better too. But just from the prop itself, it looks very bland, again, as I was saying. With Lord Raven, Lucky Bottoms seems to be a very bland clown prop. The clown itself, the head looks weird. The jaw and the upper head look to be detached from each other. So maybe he'll have that similar kind of style as Miserable Marie from 2020. So that's what I'm thinking here. He probably has very similar type of animation to her. And I don't know. This guy just really is not my taste at all. I'm sure there's going to be a few people who like him this year. But he just looks so bland. No color, no real color in his clothes again either. And it just seems like a very, very weird prop. And especially the name Lucky Bottoms, I really don't understand that naming either. If all he does is thrash around and laugh, since it says constant motion, so he's not going to have phrases right there. That basically confirms it. So this is just a really, really strange little prop here, and $150 is nowhere near worth for this guy. Anyways, this guy just seems to be another kind of rushed or last-minute prop, as a lot of people who have seen all the props in the manuals already have been saying a lot of these props feel like just rushed last-minute props, like not much care was put into their design, and I definitely feel that with this guy here. But again, we still have to see what he does and his phrases, or probably no phrases. Again, as I said, it's constant motion, but we'll just have to see what he does before I give my final thoughts on this guy. Now, here is our next prop. Technically, hear me out. I know all you're saying right now is, wait, this is a mask. But you know how Spirit Halloween makes masks off their own animatronics, like with Uncle Charlie this year, there was a Wacky Mole costume that got leaked, which I'm not going to go bother finding the photo, but yes, we're just getting a Wacky Mole costume. It looks exactly the same. Besides the point, they make masks of their animatronics. So this is actually the face of a brand new animatronic clown this year called Nozzles the Clown. So this has also been confirmed by somebody who I spoke to about, who has already seen the manual photos and stuff, but wasn't able to share all the photos with me. Otherwise, we'd be looking at those instead of this mask. But we get a great look at what the face is most likely going to look very similar to. So Nozzles the Clown, if any of you know this, his price tag was leaked actually a few weeks ago, but I thought for sure that was 100% fake. There's no way that that was going to be a real clown prop. But lo and behold, somehow, some way, whoever got that photo was actually somebody who had the manual very early, which is just very strange to me. But this is in fact a real prop, which I find really interesting. So Nozzles the Clown's head is basically all we have right now. I'm really interested in seeing what the rest of the prop does, as it's called Nozzles, so maybe there's going to be something else going on. Maybe you have some sort of accessory that he has, maybe like a hose or some sort that he's holding. So that's what I'm thinking, but it could just be a generic clown. But from what people have said who saw the whole thing, it seems like he's going to be pretty interesting this year. So that's pretty much all I have to say, and I do like the face too. I do think the clown face here actually looks pretty creepy, and it's unique since he does seem to be some sort of toxic-like clown, I guess would be the best way to describe him. And he has a smile very similar to Wacky Mole's too, which is just something else I thought I would add on. Anyways, just seems to be a fairly unique clown from what people are saying, so I'm looking forward to seeing the whole prop. Alright, and here is our best look at the theme so far. Unfortunately, we really don't have too many good looks at the theme, but this is pretty much the only photo we have so far. And from the looks of it, it looks like kind of like a castle, and I'll get into that in a few seconds now. But I'm almost 90% sure it is a lab, as people who have seen the manual have been saying it's a lab, but I don't really know for 100% sure they're telling the truth or if they actually seen it. But my source, who I know 100% has seen many photos from the manual, was saying that he couldn't confirm for me whether it was or not. So I'm just gonna give you guys, take this with a grain of salt, that I'm going to say it's either a lab or a castle theme this year. And the castle theme makes a lot of sense to me, just obviously because of the stone structure there, and the stone does not really fit a lab at all. But also the side theme with the monkey. Now, remember last year we had the factory showroom with Shorty in it, and it typically relates to the main theme. So the tent, the circus tent for the monkey, kind of relates to a medieval theme when you really think about it. Since in medieval times they did have circuses and stuff, of course, that's pretty much where they got their most popularity. I'm pretty sure circuses date all the way back to the ancient Roman Empire, but I know that they were very popular in medieval times as well. And also, like, for jesters and stuff during medieval times were obviously also very popular. So I'm thinking it could definitely be a little bit of a possibility now. I'm not going to say 100%, but I'm thinking it's either a castle or a lab. Lab basically just off rumors alone and possible people who've seen it, and a castle just from my personal opinion. But either one, I don't care, because the people who've seen it said it's actually pretty cool, and they say the theme is better than the prompts this year, which I kind of felt a little bit last year, but I don't know. Anyways, I'm just going to tell you a few more things I had confirmed, and then we'll wrap up the video. Alright everybody, thank you so much for sticking around for 17 minutes. I know this has been a long video, but here's just some stuff I had confirmed by my source who will not be named. According to him, there is going to be a prop similar to Crouchy, but a pumpkin patch-like creature. He says it's in the same stance, but he's not really sure if it does the same thing as Crouchy, which is interesting to me. That has me pretty excited, but he did say it was $330, which is just ridiculous. Even for a prop that size, that is just mind-blowingly high price and just outrageous in my opinion. He also confirmed that Barnyard Butcher won't be returning in stores, but he has no information on online-only props yet. So I'm not going to give up hope. And as I said before, I really think if Barnyard Butcher is going to return, he's going to be an online-only prop. So I'm not giving up all my hope just yet. And it is a little bit disappointing. Again, we're not going to be seeing him in stores this year. But still, I do think there is a slim possibility he will be showing up as an online-only. Perhaps not immediately. They always like to save a lot of online-only stuff for later down the line in the season. So I think if we don't see him during the summer, there could be a good chance we see him going into the fall season, and I don't know. But those are pretty much the rest of the stuff I have confirmed, guys. So thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you guys think of the leaks below, and let me know if you guys think that Spirit Halloween is releasing their sneak peek or their entire lineup on July 14th. I don't know yet. I feel like that is a pretty solid theory as of right now, and I don't know. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, this is Big Slay Pumpkin, signing out.